My guest today is Seamus Dever. You know who he is. You know who he is because, quite frankly, he's been on my podcast a lot.
It's the only time we talk. Is on the podcast.
Well, you know, one of the reasons I started this podcast back up is because how do you like to talk to you?
Yeah.
Okay, a perfect example. Actually, a perfect example is us because you and I started talking on social media. And I was like, it's like, what do I do? Do you want to go get coffee with me?
Go do that.
You want to go ride bikes?
And I have that blue check mark that you can't ignore.
And then the blue check mark was like,
whoa, why did that show up in the top of my
he's been
feed?
verified. And this is before you could buy those.
Oh, yeah.
I think we both had them.
We earned them.
The cat almost knocked over the camera. Yes. And I was telling Tyler about this the other day. Is that you and I started talking, and it's like, blue check mark, I guess he seems cool. And then I was like, oh, okay. Oh, well, he did the show, Castle, that looks amazing.
I always knew we would be friends years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet we'd get along.
I get that from a lot of people.
I yelled at the screen like, hey, you want to hang out? And just nobody.
No response. I forgot to introduce you.
You don't have to.
But did I say that?
He needs no introduction.
He needs no introduction. So there's some news.
Yeah.
The last time you were on this podcast... The last 2 times you're on this podcast,
3 times maybe, I don't know.
you have told me that you were doing motion capture and voice work for a new video game.
Well, you captured too. Yeah.
Excuse me, Seamus.
It's all 3.
Motion capture is not performance capture?
No. Motion capture can be just the body.
Okay.
But performance capture is actually just like the entire thing, acting, the face and everything. So yeah.
And so now you can divulge what that project was.
Yes, Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Did I guess it at one point?
You did. But I didn't show you that I did. So look, these
you wouldn't even. I'll tell you right now. And you and I are very good friends.
Yeah.
You've been under my house.
I have.
And on top of my house. Mm-hmm. And another reason I brought you over here is because I have a leak that after this podcast,
we're going to work on it.
We're going to go look at. We're not going to look at. We're going to go work at. We're going to look at it.
Let's go do it. What do? You just stare with like an lollipop and you go, "Yeah, that was broken."
This
another one of those.
WD-40.
Look, here's the thing. I'm terrified of NDAs. They scare you now with all these NDAs. Back in the day, that nobody used to care. Probably the days before social media. I didn't give a damn. But now they want to control all the press, and so like, don't say anything, don't even hint, don't even like post. I'm like, definitely don't post a picture in anything. Don't just like, we want to control this. So now there's like a structured rollout of the game. So I probably can't even tell you a character I'm playing. I could just say I'm in the game.
Oh, got it.
They sent us a memo that said like, okay, it was June 2nd. You can say that you're involved in this.
At some point, do you have to say? Like, you're supposed to, like, have a picture of your character that you can post on social media and be like, I'm this guy?
They will be doing that eventually. So far, I haven't seen that, so I've seen other characters, but not mine yet.
You've never even seen your character?
Oh, I've seen my character.
Does it look like you?
Yeah, yeah. But meanwhile, like, huge, like, buff, like,
really?
Jacked.
Really?
Jacked.
Oh,
and taller. Awesome. I'm like 6'3" in this thing.
That's awesome.
Like, this is weird.
That's awesome.
But the game comes out, I think, in October or something.
Okay.
So eventually, things will be known.
That's pretty fun.
The character I'm playing and everything. So
now there's no more secrets. Everything that you've played, you can tell me about. Every character that you've done or will do, you can tell me about.
No. Probably not until October. I'm frightened of this NDA. This is the biggest game in the world.
No, I'm saying there's no other projects.
We're owned by. Oh yeah, now I'm working on another project too that I can't tell you anything about. I'm working on it's a big TV show. I'm recurring on it. It's a fun role.
Are you allowed to say the network?
Probably. I'll say CBS. They're most of the networks anyway.
Okay.
Let's take a pick. It's not streaming. It's good old fashioned linear
terrestrial. And it's not NCIS.
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you if anyway. I mean, we played this game before. I don't get sued.
The thing is, we played this game and I won it.
I don't get you guessed.
But
like
you
couldn't
tell me. You couldn't tell me. No,
I couldn't. I didn't even nod like blink twice. If I'm, are you right about?
I saw a little bit of blood leave your face.
Did you?
When I said Call of Duty, I remember we were right outside.
Right outside
at my fire pit.
There's a fire pit,
and you're like, you gave me
some wine.
You kind of like, and you kind of like
got uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like I was violating something.
And I go, well, if you said this and this and this, then it's probably Call of Duty, and you're like. I don't know.
It might be. I don't know.
My Uber's here. I gotta call an Uber. Okay. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's something very familiar to something that I've done before and everything. So
here's something that, like, for example, like you, we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Off camera, is that you used to play good guys.
Uh-huh.
And now, do you play exclusively bad guys?
Mostly. I played bad guys at the beginning, like when I was doing guest star roles and first coming up.
Okay,
I
sure.
was usually like the last person who had just had sex with the person who's dead now. That was like my specialty.
Okay.
My métier.
Okay.
And I did that for a long time.
I see it.
Suspect. Yeah, right? I've got that look.
You do.
I've got that essence.
Yeah.
That's my wheelhouse.
But now you're like, in Call of Duty, are you good or are you bad?
I'm good. I think I can say that. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a good guy.
Okay, so let's
With a bad past. Aha! There we go.
There it is. There's something. There's some edge.
Yeah.
The Waco
Bad guy.
bad guy. We can't talk about the other project, but it's. I mean,
Dubious. Maybe bad guy. Maybe good guy. Actually, I don't even know where it's headed, so I have no idea.
okay.
It's like that. You know, they roll it out, and you kind of go, "Oh, where are we heading with this? Oh, we're going there."
You know, you're lucky. You're lucky.
You're lucky.
Do you consider yourself lucky?
I do. Do you consider yourself lucky?
I do.
You have to.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
Look at this great house. Look at this lovely wife.
I appreciate.
Look at these cats.
She's not standing here.
She's got, no, don't be shy. Don't be shy, Mel.
To be very clear, if she's not here, she's at the vet. She's at the vet. She'll walk through in the middle
One
of
of
this.
the two.
Yeah.
Or Mendocino Farms.
Or now it's Erewhon.
Oh, Erewhon is the newest.
We were making fun of Erewhon. For people who don't know what Erewhon is,
Erewhon is a weird place.
Erewhon is
I find it very weird.
It is.
I've heard the weirdest conversations there.
It is so Hollywood. It is so.
Is it?
It is so L.A. I know that they have them in New York as well.
Yeah.
But the ones out here, they're so L.A. The one here near our house on Coldwater and Ventura. There are. It's for everyone who has like a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or just some fancy car that it's not good enough that it's a Rolls Royce. It needs to be bright yellow.
Of course.
It's not a Lamborghini. It needs to be like have a performance exhaust and be neon green. Those people get out and they linger around their car and then they go and they get the smoothie there.
Yeah, they hang out at the juice bar.
At the juice bar. It's the Kardashian, the Bieber, they're all like named after famous people and they're $30 for a smoothie.
And I feel like they also just staying there for hours and discuss conspiracy theories about the government.
Is that what it is?
I feel like
that's
it,
the
man.
level of those conversations.
There's some sort of like Venn diagram of those people getting like talking about being red pilled and stuff. Like and just sitting there just drinking their juice smoothie and like they're probably all anti-vaxxers too and they're all just like hanging out there at the counter. I've seen some weird things there.
That's so funny. That's a your Erewhon.
Yeah, the original one.
My Erewhon is like, that one's been around forever.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I go to that one.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I don't go to that one because of the weirdness, but I've been to that one.
It's one of those things where Mel and I have made fun of it. So ours is very like
it's the Valley.
It's the Valley, but everyone's putting
free
on
parking. They're fine.
That's true. They're putting on like those outfits that like cost $500 for a sweatsuit, but they wear it all like frumpy, whatever.
Yeah,
like they are not having those kinds of conversations.
It's like Sherman Oaks bougie.
They're just like, oh my god, you guys, seriously, look at my nails. Oh my god,
it's different, different vibe over there.
We heard a conversation, over there. It was a guy and a girl. And Mel was closer to it, so he was probably 45, and she was probably 18, 17.
Oh, lovely relationship.
And I was just trying to
December.
I wasn't sure how old she was, but Mel was sitting close to her. And when they left, I go, "Did you get that?" I couldn't get that conversation because that's what we were there for. And he was the dad, fed up with how the daughter, the mother, and the son are just using his credit cards. And he said, last month my bill was $50,000. That's the conversations you have. And she was like,
we're going to cut down next month.
Yeah, she's like, what am I supposed to do? I need to get my nails. I need to get this. All these need things from a girl who's in high school, these need things.
They have needs.
They have needs.
High school seniors have needs.
That's this Erewhon. So, anyway, we were, we'll go over there.
How did we get to Erewhon? I don't know.
Because that's where Mel possibly is. So we made fun of it because there's a coffee shop, Civil Coffee, right near there. We walk to this. It's a mile from the house. It's a good walk.
Yeah.
And then we started popping in, and we're like, oh wow, they have these. Oh wow, they have these. And now we'll go in there to get little bites and stuff like that. We don't do like our grocery shopping there.
No, okay.
But we are guilty of going there ironically so much that the irony has
Then the
worn
irony's
off.
faded at this point, and we just like it, and we're regular Erewhon shoppers.
They're like, and we appreciate what they do, and it's like, everything is like organic.
Appreciate their commitment to non-processed foods.
You can ask anyone at Erewhon. There's a guy who hovers. Now, by the way, the aisles probably the same with yours. The aisles are about this
narrow. Yeah,
old school. I can't stand there and stretch my arms out.
No.
So it's one shopping cart only. I don't know.
There's always someone coming through. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I just and the claustrophobia part of me just like I gotta get.
And they're mini carts, but the guy who's in the vitamin aisle knows everything about everything.
Yeah,
and cares about it. It's a unique thing.
Yeah,
it's the Disney.
He'll sell you anything.
It's the Disney of grocery stores.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a trivia question.
Okay.
How much do you think a ticket to go to Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom Orlando was in 1979?
Orlando. Did Disney World exist in 1979? What are we talking about here? Are we talking about LA or are we talking Orlando?
Orlando.
You said that. Did Disney World exist in 1978? They did, didn't they? Yeah, they opened in the early 70s. I'm sorry. Let's go back to your question. I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess $13.
When it opened, so it was around that time, $3.
$3?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And now it's 109.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has not gone up proportionately.
No.
Anyway.
That's inflation. That's everything.
No, it's not inflation. That's
corporate greed. That's what is that?
Corporate greed.
A lot of stuff.
Setting the bar higher. It wasn't the same experience you had back then.
It's like you what it is you make it higher, and so that you only have a certain level of people come in there, and then they don't throw their trash on the ground. They don't mess up the place. They don't curse. They don't.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
That probably doesn't happen, does it?
If you go to...
You price yourself out of that market.
Trying to.
You go, we're going to get the best people.
If you
like
go
Erewhon
to...
does. You don't get the weirdos.
You've been to Disneyland. When's the last time you were at Disneyland?
Disneyland a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I used to work for them. So
when's the last time you were at...
free all the time.
Of course.
I haven't paid for Disneyland in years.
Okay.
Decades.
So bougie. But have you been to Knott's Berry Farm?
Yes.
Okay.
For Grad Night.
It is a different clientele.
Oh, yeah. What's the difference in that? That's like Ralph's and Whole Foods.
It's like Ralph's and Erewhon.
Ralph's and Erewhon.
It is. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I tend to wish that it was even more expensive to go to Disneyland, because even when we go, we're like, all right, Mel and I, we have passes. Like, so
you're one of those people.
Yeah, we're one of those people, because I didn't have a TV show. I'm holding back swearing.
No.
Swearing's bad for the algorithm.
No,
I'm holding back swearing.
You're on the thing of like, we're adults who go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
We have the bumper sticker that they send us every year. We put on it with the mouse ears.
I'm sorry. When you went to Disneyland, when you went for free, were you not an adult, Seamus?
I was, but I didn't pay for it.
Well, okay. Okay, I paid once.
I went there, and no, it's fine. How often do you go? Wait a minute. How often do we go to Disneyland? How often do you go to Disneyland?
You have to go.
Do you like going somewhere? Let's just go for dinner because it's Wednesday. Let's just go. Are you those kind of people?
What? Is that jealousy? Is that what it looks? I don't know. I've never seen it on you before.
Is that jealousy?
It feels like
I'm
it.
just like, so what do you go to Disneyland for? Because I'm not judging it. I just want to hear an adult
sometimes we
defend themselves and their position about why with you're not taking children there, right?
No,
there's no like Make-A-Wish sort of situation.
No, I wish children weren't allowed.
A dying child, you're not taking there. You as an adult, you're going with another adult.
Yeah. As soon as you get
Disneyland,
as soon as you take a breath, I'll answer. We go there for nostalgia.
Yeah,
we go there to get our steps in.
Oh, see, that's good.
Yeah, so it's like
we gotta go to Anaheim for that.
Well, I know it's far, but we could walk around here. There's places, but then if you go down there, we'll go there and walk around all day, and we'll end up with like 25,000 steps.
It's true.
We'll walk about what does it end up being like 8 to 10 miles. So like that's that. Maybe we'll go on a ride or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just there to like soak in the atmosphere.
We're just there to kind of just.
You're not
riding silly.
Wow,
and, yeah,
that's interesting.
And then one of her friends and followers, someone who donates to our cat rescue, is a member of Club 33. Have you been?
No. See, even no.
Now what's happening? Now what's happening here?
Well, I never could get in. I could never get past it. I wasn't a big enough celebrity to get in.
You were on an
ABC television show owned by Disney.
Yeah.
I could get in there, VIP tours, all of that.
Yeah.
And free tickets for like 10 people.
Let me tell you something.
But could not get into Club 33. That's the limit.
Club 33.
That's where they say, you're not a big enough star, sir.
Yeah.
You got to be number one on the call sheet.
And neither am I. I just know somebody. Club 33 it's about $15,000 to join, and about that a year. I don't know what the exact numbers are. And they get passes to the park too.
Yep.
And then you go there for like dinner service. And so what we had to do is we go in our walk around the park attire and had to bring in our bags our collared shirt and our pants.
Where do you change clothes at Disneyland?
So there's a locker. You get the lockers there. There's lockers.
Oh, are they towards Main Street in the beginning?
They're on Main Street.
Oh.
Right behind Starbucks.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you go there, put everything in the locker, so you don't have to carry around a bag.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny.
Are you there when people like kids are shitting their pants and they're changing them? And you're like, I got to put on my...
Well, yeah. It's still Disneyland, but I'm about to elevate my experience above all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you go, you have a set time. So maybe ours was like 7. And we go in there. And it is one of the nicest restaurants I've ever been in.
Yeah.
So the food in Disney
is terrible.
Yeah, it's
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's kind of known for
food.
Chicken fingers and whatever, and mass produced stuff. This is like the cocktails, some of the best cocktails I've ever had. When we were there, we sit down, have this meal, and it's about $150 per person for the food. And then the drinks are maybe $30 each or whatever it is. And so we're just like, look, I've never been here before. I lived out here for 30 years. I've been invited twice. I've been on tour, whatever. Couldn't go. I might not be able to do it again. Honey, whatever it is, I had some cash there. I'm like, I'm taking it. $500 if that's what it costs. That's it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it came to. So we're sitting there after all these meals, after all these courses, and then I ordered like they had a limited edition Walt Disney tiki drink that came in his mug. So
it's made out of Disney's head.
This is it.
You're drinking out of Disney's head.
Drinking out of the skull. It's like the monkey brain thing. Drinking out of the top of him.
Do you feel like you hate communists? And unions after you take a sip of it,
and rumors,
and you started smoking. You're like, this is really weird.
That's true. And I was a hefty drinker, but I banned drinking in my workplace. Because for people who don't know, like you could not drink in Disneyland forever except for in Club 33.
And you couldn't smoke anywhere except for Disney's apartment.
In his office upstairs. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. You got a pap when you walked in. So we're sitting there waiting for the bill, and we're like, excuse me, we were waiting for like 20 minutes. Just we need the check. And she's like, oh no, you're all set. We're like, oh my God, that person covered it.
Yeah.
And we just wanted the in, and we didn't expect it. And I got 2 of these things, which, by the way, are now like valued at about $200 a piece.
Wow.
So I could sell them and go back there. How many would I need to sell to buy a membership to there? So anyway, like we'll go down there. We'll sometimes have an agenda of something we want to do, and it's like let's go to the cantina and get a drink. Let's go here, even though they're not great.
Yeah.
Let's go and do this and this and this, and then we'll go on. Usually we'll go on Pirates.
Pirates is great.
Yeah.
It's okay. Look, that's the
transportative one.
It's like there's a curated atmosphere that you don't get anywhere else. That you're like it's sort of like stepping back in time. There's nostalgia. There's also like someone's worked really hard to make it feel immersive, which you don't get that at Six Flags. You're not.
And
that's like you're in a parking lot, and I hope you like to scream.
Yeah, what's the difference between someone who works at Six Flags?
And I hope you like Heat Stroke
and Knott's Berry Farm and Disney. Is a person at Disney really wants to be there.
I think people at Knott's Berry Farm, they like gang fights. I think that's what it is.
They love to break up gang fights.
Yeah, so you know what? You guys going to start some. I'm ready. It's Wednesday.
You know who worked at Knott's Berry Farm and then Disney as a magician? Steve Martin.
Really?
Yeah, that's where he kind of got his start. All right. So there's been talk that the TV show Castle that you did for 9 seasons?
8 seasons.
Okay. There's been talk that the show Castle that you did for 8 seasons is coming back. What can you say to that?
Zane, it's something I really can't speak to.
You officially cannot answer that question?
I can't talk about anything. I've told you these things. We can't talk about
this. What can you say?
I would say that if things were to go that way, then everybody would be coming back as a result.
So you can't... Did you just say that Castle's coming back and every character is coming back on the show?
I didn't say any of these things.
That's amazing.
These are things I can't talk about.
That's awesome.
This
is not a court of law.
These are state secrets. Might as well be.
Yeah.
These NDAs. My God.
I know,
We're all afraid.
You're so scared.
Everyone is.
I know.
Terrified.
I'm not.
So you're just poking. That's what it is.
I had a manager. There was a time when I worked so much on commercials. You were
a commercial guy? Did we never talk about this?
I don't know.
What commercials did you do? Tell me.
Here's a great one that I did. I did one for Subway. And what they did was they shot 2 concurrently. One was all celebrities. Yep. Michael Phelps was in there.
Oh, fun.
I don't know if Tom Brady, but a bunch of like big people were in there. Maybe Michael Strahan. And then there's another one that was all like working people. So I was, even though I was doing 3 sheets at the time, I played a bellhop. And there were other people, and it was all these things. They put it all together, and it was like Subway, footlong. For how much was it? $1? Wasn't it
like $5 footlong?
Yeah, $5 footlongs.
Yeah.
Really? Whatever. And so they shot the 2 commercials, and then they end up saying, we're not doing the regular person commercial. We're just doing the celebrity commercial. So it's all celebrities.
Right.
Okay? And there's a $5 footlong. So like maybe it's Michael Strahan going like a $5 footlong, and it cuts to me in a bellhop uniform. Really? That's it. That was my only line. I made like $40,000.
Oh, yeah. Did you get to meet Jared? Did they bring him out in the basement?
No, because
He hadn't been arrested at this point?
No. I was on the unimportant one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
the celebrities got to meet Jared.
Yeah.
Probably took some photos with him. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want pictures with Jared.
I mean, I used to do commercials too. I loved commercials. I hated auditioning for them.
Yeah.
Awful, demeaning, crappy experience.
I got really good at the audition because I realized what it was. Because I went to one time. I remember I was like 32 years old, and I was like there to be like a young dad. We need a young dad. Yeah. And I was like, I almost didn't go. 32? I'm 32. I don't even know anybody, because we're out in LA. I don't even know anybody who's my age that has kids.
Right.
And I was like, I'll go and do it. And my demeanor there was such that I didn't really care if I got it. So I got it because I wasn't showing any desperation or desire to be in it. I was just myself. Yeah. I was having fun with them, like riffing and whatever. Yeah. And anytime I went in there and didn't care, usually I got it. So I got a Coca-Cola commercial. I got
That's great.
That didn't air, but whatever. I did a bunch. So I was like, I would say that 1 out of every 10 auditions I ended up getting.
That's good.
But then there was exclusivity. Oh, I did this great one for Acura. That like they were supposed to renew by a certain date, and they didn't renew.
Cycle,
but they didn't renew. But they were required to call my agent and remove my hold, and they didn't do it. So then my agents held them accountable, which is like okay, and that got me an extra like $10,000.
Yeah, I get that whole.
So there was a time where I was what they were looking for.
That's great.
I'm not what they're looking for anymore. There was a time where my agent was like, we're not looking for white dudes, old white dudes.
Yeah,
so
it's a weird. So you're kind of like what? Like I mean, look at all the commercials. It's really funny now because it's always like a mixed race couple and a mixed race child, and you're sort of like, okay, what are we?
And the buffoon, the buffoon is the white guy.
Yeah, yeah. The big goofy white guy or whatever. Yeah.
And you can cut in front of the camera, Mel. It's okay.
Hi, Mel. Hi. I did. What did I do? My first commercial, I think, was a McDonald's commercial. It was a regional one.
Yeah.
And we went out to the fake McDonald's out in Commerce.
What does that mean?
They have a fake McDonald's out there.
Where they shoot everything?
They do their industrials out there. Their training
videos. Wow.
And they do their commercials out there.
Wow.
I mean, it's in an industrial park. So you're like all these warehouses and like people.
But even from the outside,
welding things. Yeah. And then the outside, you turn the corner and there's a McDonald's there. And like all these people are always trying to go in there to buy food. And they're like, yeah, we're not a real McDonald's. We just look like
They haven't figured out proper signage
because they have a proper drive-through and everything. They have a full thing because it's all set up.
That's really cool. Okay.
So
of course they do.
And then they have a basement that's like a holding area, green room for all the town.
Oh my God, makeup and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all set up like it's a studio, but for McDonald's.
That's amazing. Okay.
Beautiful landscaping outside, blah blah blah.
And so, what did you make for that?
What did I make? It was regional, so it wasn't a national spot for that. So I think probably overall, made $10,000.
Yeah.
For that wild spot, national, but local, regional, sort of
wild
Southern
spot.
California,
I remember all those terms with
And then I did a Coors Light one that was one of the big campaigns.
Got it.
It was one of the ones where they were like giving advice, staring right into a camera.
Oh, wow.
And saying something like, I have told a lie to cover a friend's ridiculous lie. I think that was my line.
That's it. And you made?
40, 50
Yeah.
grand. It was on the finale of Friends or something like that.
Oh my God.
It was. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's where that started. And then I did a Pizza Hut one that was like March Madness, so it didn't run for very long.
Yeah.
But it was national. And then I did a regional one for White Castle, which the best part about that was like I'm in LA and I'm getting White Castle, like legit, like White Castle.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I ate meat back then, so I was just like, this is amazing. But they were for jalapeno cheeseburgers. I've never actually seen this commercial ever. I have no idea.
But it aired.
Where to find? Oh, yeah, it aired. It was all regional. It was all East Coast, so we're just not in White Castle zone out here in LA, so I've never seen it. I have no idea.
I do remember going to those auditions and then like sitting down and I remember one time before I figured it out, just to walk in there with a confidence, slight arrogance, whatever.
Yeah.
There was one guy who was just kind of like this very good-looking guy, and everyone's talking, and we're all talking about how do we book these things. We're like kind of like all like neophytes, and he's like, well, I find the trick is, we're like, okay, what is it? He's like, you should have like 4 to 5 commercials going at any time. We're like, leave, go away. That's not
the
what
trick?
That's not what we're doing. Yeah,
You know what the trick is, guys?
Yeah,
That's
make a lot of money. Okay, thanks.
You know what you should get is just get the job.
Get the job. Yeah.
At that point, then you worry. Yeah. I did one that was a AAA auto insurance commercial that was California, and it aired for years, and I've never seen it.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea, but it aired for a long time.
But someone stayed on top of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I got all my stuff for years. I got holding fees and everything, but it was all like cable and
You don't still do those, right, commercial?
No, I stopped. I can tell you. You want to hear the story why I stopped?
Sure.
I had I was teaching classes at a school out here, and I got a call back for an ESPN promo trailer. And I was like, wow, this is great. Okay, I got a call back for this thing. And so I was like, okay, well, I got to go. And my commercial agents were like, you have to go. It's call back. You do. Okay, so I had to drop everything. My classes were in like the Valley, and this was in Santa Monica, of course, that I had to go down to. So I had to get somebody to cover my class. Cancel that. Lost like $75 for teaching my class that day. Had to go down to the whatever 6th Street or where it was in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So I had to go in there, and I'm in there in the promo thing, and I'm like, okay, so we're having this thing where you're in a hot tub, and you have these heads that keep popping up that are you're having a conversation with a beautiful woman in a hot tub, but then the heads keep telling you about game day or like some game day, and they're saying something. You have to go like, hey, be quiet. Hey, be quiet. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna strap some Velcro around your neck with some dolls' heads around your neck, and then one around your waist. So these heads will pop up. So like, it's not enough just to imagine. We want to see the doll's head strapped to your neck. And so there's one around my neck, one around my thing, and they were kind of itchy and kind of painful. And I'm standing there and with these stupid doll's heads around here. And then I look, and there's a little sign at the sign-in sheet that you're there, and it said, okay, this is a promo rate. Promo rate? Well, what does that mean? So this is going to pay $250. It's like an exception.
A flat rate.
Yeah, it's an exception to like the day rate for SAG day rate. I was like, wait a minute, $250. So I cancel a class that was $75. I'm going to get taxed, and then I got to pay commissions at this point.
Because there was no residuals on it?
No, it was a flat fee. It was like that promo thing, and I'm like, I'm going to make $100 on this thing?
Yeah.
And I'm wearing doll's heads? I'm done.
Did you just leave?
I'm done.
Did you walk out?
No, I did it. I did the audition, but I'm like, this is it. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is driving me nuts. So and I was happier because of that. I was just like, okay, it was just way too mumuch driving around and all those things.
You know what? That's what mine became, was the auditioning. Because again, it's 1 out of 10. But I might, if I'm lucky, I'll get 2 auditions a week, and so sometimes there was more, sometimes less. But like, you're just dropping things. You
drop everything.
But then when I was shooting 3 sheets and drinking media, that's when because it was like, wait, what's your availability? Well, I'm here for the audition, but I'm not here for the shoot, or I'm here for the shoot, but not the audition. And then the agents are like, we gotta take somebody who is available, and so that I didn't fight it, and that was the end of it.
I took some time off, and then I just never came back.
Yeah,
and I think I'm still represented by them, but I have no idea. I haven't talked to these people.
That's so funny. I wonder if But again, I'm not what they're looking for right now. So even if I could do it,
yeah, and the whole world has got to be changing because like you used to get paid a lot on the network stuff, and now everyone's going to streaming.
Yeah.
Right? So what are those things? Those are the things that pop up on like Prime.
Here's what I miss:
the pay rate for those things. You're like, oh.
So I think for insurance right now, I think I pay for myself. I'm about $800 a month for health insurance.
Okay.
And when you had SAG insurance, you had the best insurance in the world, known for that.
Pretty good. Don't cover contact lenses for actors, but go on.
Okay. They don't cover contact lenses for actors.
Pretty good insurance, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but they had dental, they had psych.
Sure.
They
but
had
contact lenses for actors.
They
What's
had
the deal?
They had shoes. You could get free shoes.
I get covered for glasses, but not for contact lenses.
Okay.
I'm an actor.
And what
I'm
was
on screen.
What was the monthly payment?
The monthly payment, what is it?
$100?
No. Now it's gone up. It's $500 every quarter. So $100. What is it?
$120?
$150, $175 a quarter or a month, maybe.
Okay,
I think so. That's the premium, but that keeps.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
$530. It's actually $531.
Okay,
a quarter.
Yeah, you know what? Mine is a quarter. $2,500. So and it's horrible.
It's good insurance. Just SAG if you're listening.
Yeah. So anyway, that was one of the things of why I liked. Yeah. Are you just talking to the microphone?
I was.
You have a camera there. You can talk to the camera.
SAG, cover contact lenses. We're actors. Come on.
Yeah. You should fight. You should strike.
Yeah, we should. That was the whole reason.
That was the reason.
People weren't aware of that.
That's not the reason for the last strike. It's the reason.
Contacts
for the next strike.
For the next one. Yeah.
Okay, so look at this. I'm covering items here. How do you feel about the because? How old are you?
I am.
Do you say?
Yeah, I do say. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
48.
48
years old.
So
how old do I look? That's a question.
40.
You know what I'm saying?
40.
There's something I want to bring up. We're supposed to age like the rest of the world in order to play. I can't play my age. When that happens, and people say, "Oh, we want a 48-year-old," and I go in front of the thing, and
I think we do 42.
Probably like late 30s. Yeah, maybe like 37, 40.
Who says that?
42.
Who says that?
42, but I don't play 48.
When you do a character that's late 30s,
when you go 48, what does the rest of the world think of it like that?
When you do a character that's playing late 30s,
late 30s,
is at any point the character's age spoken out loud?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah,
I mean they want it to fit.
You know what, McGillicuddy? You're 34 years old.
But when I go in for things that are like 50s,
yeah,
that's like all those people who are 50s are like 60 out here because they have the full they're showing their age and all these things.
Yeah,
and they're older. That's just the way this works. Is that we age slower out here, but you're supposed to kind of like. Adapt yourself.
We just flip a switch
and then go.
You're not wanted. Like again, I had a manager that my agent's like, you know what, this guy's a good comedy manager. I think you should align yourself with this guy. Can I talk to him for you? I'm like, yes, please. He goes, has a discussion. He's like, he says in different terms, you're too old.
You're too old.
You're too old. Well, he's not taking on anyone in your age bracket.
Well, what's the benefit of that? You know what I mean? Like lack of baggage. Just like tabula rasa, sort of.
Of like, what? Lack of baggage if you take on
a young person. Of getting what's the advantage there? I want to reverse engineer. What's their thinking that they're going? We want someone that nobody knows anything about. I think we can lie about.
People like to look at young people.
They do.
Yeah,
we're obsessed with the youth in this country, in this world. We're probably obsessed with youth.
Yeah,
and there's always going to be entertainment for young people.
But
all my really talented friends are playing someone's goddamn parent on a show, and then, like it's all these storylines just about teenagers. I mean, it's just that it's happened like that.
I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
You know, when
the circle of life.
When my buddy Jack Maxwell got the show Booze Traveler,
that guy.
I write about him in my book.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because there was animosity at first, and then we became friends. But
got it.
You know, he got that show when he was 51.
Okay.
And
he looked like he did.
Yeah,
that's a 51-year-old right there.
Yeah, he was 51 playing 51. But I mean, now he's like...
The booze catches up to you.
It does. It'll do its thing. But now, it's like, anytime I try to have this discussion... Like, I had a show called Thirsty that I was pitching. My agent, he didn't believe in it to the point... I put together a sizzle reel, all this stuff... He didn't believe it to the point where he wouldn't even take it out because he didn't want to take it to a channel and then have them be like, You're an idiot. You know we're not looking for this. We don't want to see any of your stuff ever again.
Are there ghosts here?
That's what you're afraid.
Is he drinking with ghosts?
Exactly.
Is there some sort of element? Is there Yeti involved? Is there Bigfoot?
Yeah, travel.
Drinking with Bigfoot? That's what we're talking about.
You got the Turbo Channel?
Yeah, the
Travel Channel where they dropped all the vowels and now they just do ghosts.
Just
travel.
Just so you don't associate. Oh, this was travel.
Yeah.
The whole time this was about traveling?
With ghosts.
You don't say.
I pitch him the show. No one will pick it up. Blah, 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 blah. And then in the time that I'm talking to him this is about 2 years. I've been trying to get him to go out with the show. He didn't do it. A show called Thirst comes out.
Oh.
With this girl, I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything against her. There was an interview where she said, it's a completely blank slate. No one's ever done a show about drinking. And I'm like, I oughta.
Let's just pretend that's real.
Exactly. But then my agent's like, well, she's a female, she's younger, she's Latina, she has a following.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
She doesn't know what she's doing. She's a younger face that's better to look at.
Look, let's talk about this in a way like, okay. I always look at these sorts of things and I'm like, and I didn't know any better before I moved out here. And I saw the sort of the revolution of people, the cycle of people coming and going and coming and going. This person's hot, then they're gone. This person's hot, then they're gone. This person's hot, then they're gone.
There used to be a resurgence too, but go ahead.
That's true. But these products need a rapper. They need, and when not a rapper, not someone
I don't know,
not a musician, but a rapper, a label. These things need a label. We need a face,
a brand
for these things, and the rest is the machine creating all these things and manufacturing. So it could be anybody. She could have been amazing. I'm sure she was talented. Whatever. It could have been this person, this person, this person. We just need someone that we can just put on the face of this. I mean, look at like pop stars. It's the same thing.
Yeah, they're not
there. There's a cycle. The 1 or 2 albums and they're gone. 1 or 2 albums and they're gone.
You could make an argument that the show that I would do would be better and funnier and more interesting and more informed,
more educational. More informed,
but
is that what they want?
No, they just want as many eyeballs as possible.
Yeah, they want eyeballs.
They're not looking for longevity. They're looking for like this, something that's a flash in the pan that somehow stays hot because it works for some reason.
They want you, and let me know when we sound like old people here. Okay. They want you tuning in.
I have been informed that that's what I am. Yeah.
You click on a channel and you never leave that channel. Are you watching the channel? I don't know. Maybe I'm doing my accounting. Maybe I'm checking Instagram. Maybe I'm second screening it. Maybe I'm ordering food. Maybe I'm thinking about these things.
Yeah.
But I'm on the channel and I'm never leaving the channel.
Right.
And I get all these. What are the minutes watched? That's the new numeric that they say with things.
Is that even so?
That's
Nielsen's,
what they want.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Nielsen's are their own little private sort of.
Do they even have those anymore? Because now you would think like Hulu, for example, they have their own metrics. They know what their metrics are,
and they're not sharing any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But unless it's good, and then there's like, this is the hours watch around the world. And you're like, holy crap, that's amazing.
Yeah.
They want you on it, and they want you to never leave.
We knew for a fact that
they don't. I don't even have to be good. You just have to be there and just never tuning away. Or like, my arm's broken. I can't possibly change anything. Let's just.
Well, I'm not even in the room. I'm watching in front of another TV.
I'm doing all this other stuff. I'm cleaning up the house. Who's that? I don't know.
When 3 Sheets went onto Hulu. So, by the way, it started off on NHD. Then they changed the name of the channel to Mojo HD.
Yeah, I remember.
Then it went on to Fine Living Network. Then it went on to Travel Channel.
Yeah.
Then it went on to Spike.
Yeah.
And then it went on to Hulu.
Yeah.
And when it was on Hulu, even though people had plenty of opportunities to watch it, they got 3 million views, like 3 million views over the course of like 6 months. That was when they were sharing that information. And so you're just like, well, why don't you guys want new episodes? No, we want something new. Anyway, you're too old, or I don't know, whatever it was at that point.
Sometimes they like to. A friend of mine used to call it, tripping over $1 to pick up a nickel. This sort of thing that they're like, well, that would be money spent. It's like, this is already established. It's there. It's going to cost less. Just do it. The money is there, and then they were like, we want to do this adventurous thing that costs way too much money and is unassured.
I won't doubt the science behind it. I won't doubt the data-driven metrics, the algorithms that they're looking for. Sure. However, I will say that there is always an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And so I keep getting this door shut on me, and I'm going to prove to everyone that I am the exception. I was the exception before, and I can be the exception again.
That's good.
What? Don't count me out.
Don't count me out. God damn it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Seamus, I can't even tell you what he's going to be on because he won't tell me, even off camera. Okay, good. That's good.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it? Did we cover enough?
We covered some stuff, but
I know. Do you want to end in a positive way? Otherwise,
we never even sabered a bottle.
I feel like we're gonna have to saber. We're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, okay.
You're not gonna do it in here anyway. It's messy.
No, we'll do it.
We'll do it out there.
No, let's do it here. We'll clean up the mess.
Here?
Yeah.
It's gonna be messy, and there's gonna be glass
rolling?
everywhere.
Yeah, good. Okay.
And we can't test the distance. This is the whole thing. Look. You're afraid. You're afraid of a little competition because are we still rolling? We're still rolling.
Yeah, rolling.
Because there was a time where I was on a little television show called Zane After Dark. And
that would be the third one.
And I beat you in the distance challenge with the sabering. I beat the master. No one's ever seen it. Release the footage. Release the footage, Zane. You're afraid of this. So we need to measure the distance here.
Release the Seamus
And so in this little tiny room, this is not going to work.
Do you see?
We need to go out to the street.
Do you see the
We need to go somewhere safe.
goggles? I brought protective goggles. You see that?
We need goggles?
Yeah.
What kind of nanny state are we living in? We have goggles for sabering. We're not
Because we're this close.
We're not doing it in here.
Yeah, we're doing it here.
We're doing it in here. We can't measure for distance.
It doesn't. Why? What's with you with measuring everything?
I want to win. No, seriously. Did we discuss enough about being positive and grateful as we got older? Because I don't want to sound like it's like sour
You
grapes.
can come back on another episode, and we'll be positive about things. I don't think you were sour. I think I was sour.
Well, let's balance it out then.
We are.
Do
We're
you
gonna
want
savor
to do
a
another
bottle-
5
we're gonna
minutes?
savor a bottle
Do you
of
want to do
Prosecco.
let's do another 5 minutes.
We are. We're doing it right now.
Well, not with the sabering. That's a separate little bit. That's the C block. Let's do like a little 5 minutes of this.
Thank you for sticking around. I would just leave that. I would just leave all this in. I wouldn't even edit this out. Okay, Seamus.
Look,
How
okay.
would you like to end this on a positive note?
I just want to balance things out because we're griping because we're friends, and so that's what friends do when they get together. They gripe.
That is true.
But there's a lot that we're grateful for, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are wonderful in your life and a lot of opportunities. Do you ever look back and you're like, holy crap, I did that?
Sure.
Crap,
Do
I
you
did
know
that.
why? To the point where I'm writing a book about it.
Yeah, great.
Because in my book, I gave it to my sister-in-law to read like the first 50 pages, and she was like, I had no idea. And I don't think that anyone, and my wife's never read it, hasn't read it. She's warned me, I better not be in your book. I'm like, you're in my book.
Is she going to read it? Because my wife never reads anything I write. I'm like, do you want to read this? Put it on the pile.
You know what? I don't think she, if I don't force her, which I'm not going to.
Just watch her.
I stopped inviting her to my stand-up shows because it was just too much pressure on me.
Okay.
Because whenever I had someone in the audience, which hasn't been... Okay, this is not meant... This is a positive thing. But when I invite too many people to a show that I want to do a good job... Like, were you at the Hollywood show that I did?
Yeah.
I had agents, managers, producers, all my actor friends, comedian friends, and I had my show. I've been doing it for a year. I'm ready to do it, and it was too much. And it was kind of like when I did...
Ian Ziering was there, too. Ian Ziering.
Yeah.
And he's judgy.
He was very nice. Everyone was very complimentary, but I knew that if I had done 130 shows up until that point, it was not one of the top even 50.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought it was good.
It was good.
I thought it was a good night. And you had a good crowd, too. Everyone's into it.
But you've also seen shows, like you saw the show up in...
Paso
Robles?
Yeah.
That's
San Luis
better.
Obispo.
More fun. San Luis Obispo, more fun.
Yeah.
When I'm out of LA, it's more fun. So
I see. Okay, got it.
I love when I have 2 to 4 friends in an audience.
Yeah.
I do great.
You're better at away games than you are at home games.
I'm way better
That's
at away
interesting.
games. That is
better
true.
batting percentage.
But I love when like you and Julie come to that, because I think even the one in San Luis Obispo, even like my other sister-in-law and brother-in-law were there.
Yeah, it's a
that's perfect.
Yeah,
but then when I do one here, like I did one like at Lawless, I'm not doing them in LA anymore. Okay. It's just too much pressure. People sometimes it feels obligatory, and I just like so. My wife is off the hook. Even if she comes and travels with us, I'm like, don't come to the show. You don't need to be there. You've seen it all. You've lived it all. At the end of the day, because I had this joke. I don't think I've told this before. I think it's funny. She came to the Lawless show. Mm-hmm. Lawless is a brewery here in North Hollywood, and the day after that, or 2 days after that, I was doing my special. Yeah, and I just needed to do it a few times around LA just to kind of keep hot. I couldn't stop for a week and then go and perform. It would be a little cold, so I just did a few around LA. And I was like, give me notes. If you have notes, I'd love, because she's funny. She's actually giving me some good punchlines and stuff. And give me notes. And so her notes were all about how my stories, I was exaggerating too much. Because she brought me breakfast. This is like, do you remember the story about she brings me breakfast?
Yes.
When I have a hangover,
yes.
and she brings me waffles and pancakes and French toast and bacon and eggs and beer and mimosa and Bloody Mary, whatever. And she's like, that's unbelievable. No one's going to think that. She's like, I think maybe I brought you eggs and a
brought
pancake.
you an omelet.
Yeah,
okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I go, and so I was like trying to justify it to her. I'm like, no, it's embellishment.
Yeah,
people aren't there for like the truth.
Yeah,
and then I found
don't ruin my good story with your truth.
So there's a Mark Twain quote.
Oh, is it?
Perfect. It says, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah.
And so I told her that, and she hasn't bothered me since. If you can quote Mark Twain to back yourself up,
there you go.
Just walk away. Yeah. Just walk away. So with my book, it's a really weird walk down memory lane.
Cool.
I talk about, like, I worked with Merv Griffin. I worked with Mark Cuban. Merv Griffin's when I did a show for him, we took his private plane to go shoot in Montana. And on the way back, the windshield cracked. We had to do an emergency landing in the plane. All the pilots put on oxygen, and one of the guys throws up. It was just like,
Murph's got some old planes or something.
It's like, man, old glass. Yeah,
I had this since the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so I'm just going back, and I'm like, even when I'm writing those chapters, I email or call someone that I haven't talked to in 20 years and be like, hey,
have a conversation.
I'm writing about this. This is the guy, head of development for Merv Griffin at the time. I'm like, did this happen in this sequence that you remember? He's like, oh, I actually think it was this. I'm like, you're right. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually getting to like justify some things. And then we had this tour manager who turned out to be like horrible. And I'm talking to one of our new tour managers who knew him. And I was like, what was the guy's name? And he told me. I'm like, I don't know what I can say. He's like, I think he died. I'm like, cool, I can say whatever I want. Because, like,
I write the history. I'm drunk with power.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that. It's the fact that, like, he did some things that were just, like, not good.
Shady.
And so do I change his name and protect him? Do I keep it? I'll probably still change the names a little bit, whatever.
Or I think you probably, like, omit the most of the last name or something like that.
Yeah. So his name is Chris Smith. Everyone with last name Smith, is not our real last name. Yeah. So, but anyway,
like as you get older, your sort of your ideas change and your priorities change with stuff. Like I find as I get older, I want to do good stuff more than I want to do just stuff.
Yeah. Do you get sick of people bringing up Castle?
No, because I'm grateful for the experience and all of it. And it was still a lot of fun. It was hard work, and not every day was amazing. And we repeated ourselves a lot, and I learned a lot about network television. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful to have the gig, and the money with network TV is great. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it tends to kind of be just sort of like
formulaic.
You find yourself repeating yourselves a lot. You're like, I think we've already done this, or we've done this as well, and so like trying to find something new out of it to keep it fresh and honest was my whole point with the stuff. But when you're repeating some of the same scenarios over and over, you're like, oh. Okay.
So sometimes you did things you felt a little inauthentic for it.
Yeah. You didn't feel like you're being truthful to this situation. You're like, oh, we've done this before, and I think this happens with television with a lot of people. That you can kind of mail it in. You can memorize things that day, and you start getting lazy with it because you can get away with it. And so people start doing that over and over just to see. Some people work really hard, but some people are like, yeah, whatever, I just do the number 5, and then I go home, and then you're kind of like, and that's all it is. I put in my 8 hours, 9 hours, and then you're like, okay. So I saw that pattern happening with some people, not necessarily with anybody on my show, but when I go on some shows as a guest, I see that. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so lucky to be here. Like, it's so awesome getting to do this every day. Don't you want to bring your best to it?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be truthful and do stuff that you've never done before?
Yeah.
And I want to be around those kind of people on those kind of shows. And oftentimes those happen with new shows or things that people are breaking new ground.
I mean, you're fortunate to be able to stay busy.
Yeah. Try.
I mean, I won't talk about the fact that you have 3 houses. That's not anyone's business.
The albatrosses around my neck. It's great to have 3 houses. When you get a phone call that you have a leak in your kitchen in Portugal, and then you're like, and your neighbors are complaining that their antiques are being ruined, and you're like, how do I even deal with this? Is that a real thing? Yeah, it happened last month. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I have to get a hold of my manager, and it was in Lisbon, and he has to make it all the way out to Sintra, and it's like, and you're like, how do I even file an insurance claim in Portugal?
Yeah,
these are all things that you do. So when you're 6,000 miles away, it's great having.
I don't do a lot of impressions, but I'm gonna do them real quick.
My house in Portugal, it leaked. It's like a 200-year-old house. There's probably leaks all the time. But dealing with it, you're like, oh, man.
I know. It's like, look, it's so there's always going to be the grass is greener.
There's a flip side to all of it. You have this thing, and it's amazing. Someone's got to keep it up, though.
Look, I did my show. I loved when I was doing the show. Yeah. I loved being on TV. It afforded me certain things. It afforded me certain friends that have gone away.
Yeah, people you never thought you would meet.
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god.
Or people that were friends, and then when the show went away, you're like, guys,
yeah.
But I don't care. That's live and learn, and I never lost any sleep over that kind of stuff. But look, now I'm doing stand up, and to be honest with you, people say, which one did you prefer? I loved the value of being on TV. It was a lot of work traveling. Yes. Again, I can't really complain if I'm traveling business class and then I have a hangover and then blah, 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 and I'm in, like Prague or we give the example of all the countries I've been in. But it was work, It
was work. Yeah.
And I get the same satisfaction out of doing stand-up. I love doing stand-up. I love that I'm out there. I'm feeding off the crowd. I'm getting audiences of people. I would say probably 50 to 60, sometimes 100% of the audience has never seen it. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
we had one recently. We were in Hackensack. No. Okay, well, this is a good one. Hackensack, New Jersey. No,
Hackensack,
Minnesota.
There's a Hackensack in Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, and I was in the community center because we sold too many tickets to be in the brewery. So then we moved to I was doing it on a basketball court, which kind of feels like a step down from a brewery, but it's because enough people were there.
Yeah.
And then, it's like you kind of find out that some of your stuff is a little edgy when, the mayor was in the front row. Like it was a unique experience.
A little spicy up there.
Yeah. Whoa, okay. I didn't know this was going to happen as your mayor. It was a town of 312 people.
Oh wow.
And 170 of them were there.
You're like the Music Man, just showing
everybody. I mean, 50%. Think if you hit that rate in Kansas City, how many people you'd have at your show.
Well, that's great. Because I find I guess there's sort of a next chapter sort of aspect of all this. Like you pivot to something else that you enjoy, and I'm kind of my wife and I are contemplating a move right now, and so
you're doing more than contemplating it, but okay.
Yes, well, I say contemplating because I'm not sure it's ever going to happen at this point, but we're in the process of moving to the East Coast, and one of the reasons is I'd like to do some more theater.
I was wondering about that. Okay, got it.
I started out in theater, and I thought I'd do that with the rest of my life.
Oh, wow.
I ended up somehow doing television more than theater, and being more of a TV actor for a long time. So I'd like to go back to TV, because it's where my roots are.
Theater.
I said that, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Freudian. That's what that is.
No, I'd like to go back to
TV
theater. Money.
I'd like to go back to theater.
What a wonderful high point to end on.
Yes.
Do you feel better?
I think so. I think we can end now.
Now we're going to take this Paso Seco, which is how do you phrase this? As a company that you are one of the
I'm an owner of this.
Ownership.
I'm a part of the ownership group. Okay. I'm not the sole owner, but I didn't share with you how we got in trouble.
Do you know that Chris came down here.
Oh, yeah.
We took a walk around the neighborhood, and he told me that, you guys are being...
So he told you all this.
You got a cease and desist.
Yes.
From Italy.
The
government.
And I'm wondering if our last video that we did together... Because we said a Italian, or a Prosecco, I think you said specifically those words.
You think it's my fault?
I think
that'd be amazing.
I think it is. I think that, wait a minute, this video that's out, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's saying he has a Prosecco.
Yes.
Who's this Prosecco from California?
Who's this old man saying Prosecco? That's me. All right, we're going to savor this. You learned how to do this from me.
I did, yes. And then my wife took a class in France, and I bought her a saber for Christmas. And then she was afraid to do it, so I learned how to do it really well.
I'm on your God. I'm going to give you a...
I can't believe we're doing this in here.
No, we have to do it.
This is insane. Like a saber that's way too big.
hold this sheet.
In a. Oh God, it's rusty. I don't know if I have my tetanus shots up to date. There's a microphone. This shit's gonna get everywhere. There's gonna be glass. There's going to be Charmat style California sparkling all over the place. There's going to be glass and Charmat style sparkling wine from Central Coast. Beautiful, delicious white Grenache Blanc grapes all over. Glass.
For anyone who would like to know how to saber a bottle of champagne, I will tell you, or Prosecco style.
Yeah, Charmat.
No, not Prosecco style.
Charmat California sparkling wine.
That. What you do is we had this chilling in a bucket of ice for about an hour. And what you'll do is we took the cage off here, and you can find the seam. It makes it a little easier, they say, if you find the seam in the bottle. You slide this up. You slide this sword up like that.
Yeah.
And then the top of the glass comes up. So you're actually shipping off the top of glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you? Why is that though? There's stuff. I'm like, there's gonna be glass.
Yo. Move.
Why is it? Because the seam is the weakest part of the bottle.
That's what they say. When I was on Conan, I did this on Conan. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, Christ!
Look at that, clean, baby.
Whistle. Look
That
at
is
that. No
beautiful.
bubbles.
That's beautiful. Just a little bit of smoke.
No bubbles even. And that went right towards the camera.
You know that I have the world record.
I know you do, which is surprising because I beat you the last time we did this. I was
Technicality.
I was really like, I don't know about that record, guys. That seems kind of soft. That record.
Is Mel in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Can you bring us 2 champagne glasses?
You took the cage off. Do you need to take the cage off?
I think so.
I don't know.
It's easier if you do.
When you were,
but to have the world.
Setting your world record, did you have the cages off?
I did.
You did.
But I found out that I wasn't supposed to.
Oh.
I had supposed to keep them on for Guinness. So that's why I did not get the Guinness World Record.
Gets in the way. The cage actually gets in the way of the strike.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Guinness, it's rigged. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Guinness. That's big world record there. Now how do you even say that? That's big world record time right.
You say you're lost, Guinness.
You're lost, Guinness. All right.
So yeah, you can just go aim at my $10,000 camera.
At the camera?
Yeah.
Straight at the lens. Probably has some really great lens there too. Okay. All right. Are you sure you want to be there? Are you sure?
Yeah, there you go. You're good.
Tyler, are you sure you want to be there?
You find the scene?
Do you value your eyesight for your children? And you got to get in the forte of it.
Okay.
And every store has the forte.
Okay. How long does this take?
Forte.
Yeah.
You can also do this with a butcher knife too, by the way.
You can do it with a pencil if you get it cold enough.
Oh my God! But a heavy pencil. You need a heavy. You can't do it with a pencil. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Hey! Look at that, baby!
Look at that! Look at that beautiful cut off the.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. My guest has been Seamus Dever, who did not beat me in anything today.
We didn't measure the distance. Someday, the proof will be out there. Release the cut. That's one time. Release the cut. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
That's good. Charmat style California sparkling wine.
That's great Prosecco.
You've learned.